Hi, my name is Jonathan Svitak, and I'm the vaccine injury attorney with the Shannon Law Group. Our firm helps people across the United States recover financially and emotionally after vaccine injuries or adverse reactions to vaccines. And the way we do this is by filing petitions for compensation in the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. Guillain-Barre Syndrome is an autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks your own nervous system. And there's no specific cause or known cause to Guillain-Barre syndrome. However, there has been a connection or a link to the influenza vaccine. And because of this, the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program now offers compensation for people who can show or demonstrate that they developed Guillain-Barre syndrome following a flu shot. And the criteria that you would need to demonstrate or show is that somewhere within 3 and 42 days after getting the influenza vaccine, you developed the symptoms and were diagnosed with Guillain-Barre syndrome. So what would those symptoms or signs look like after you get the flu shot? Well, sometime within that window, that 3 and 42 days, what we would expect to see is some weakness or tingling in the extremities, so in your feet or your hands. And this would slowly start to progress into numbness and weakness, may even affect your gait, would affect your ability to climb stairs or walk long distances. And those are some of the things that you would expect to see initially. Now, if you weren't getting treatment right away, this could even progress into paralysis or semi-paralysis. And in some cases, it may even affect your ability to breathe or to eat. So it's important that if you start experiencing these symptoms and you know that you got a flu shot a few weeks before or a few days before, that you seek treatment as soon as you can. So what would that treatment look like? Well, when you get to the hospital, what they would do is either do an IVIG therapy or a plasma exchange. And these two treatments have been very effective in reducing a patient's Guillain-Barre syndrome symptoms and halting the progression of those symptoms and getting you back on your feet. So once you get through, those two treatments can take a week, 5 days in the hospital. But once you're through that treatment, the next step would be to get into therapy. So that you'd be doing physical therapy, you'd be doing occupational therapy, in some instances you'd be doing speech therapy, and you'd be doing this on a daily basis. And sometimes it can take weeks or months, but eventually most patients are able to recover fully from a Guillain-Barre syndrome disease. So it's important that you get treatment and you get the right treatment. And most of the patients are able to recover. Some may have some residual symptoms, may have some residual weakness or residual numbness in their extremities, but the majority of them do recover. Developing Guillain-Barre syndrome following a flu shot, logically you're going to want to know what your options are. And that's what we do. We file petitions for those people in the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. And this program has been specifically set up for this reason, and they offer compensation in generally 3 different forms. First is any out-of-pocket medical expenses, so anything that you've had to pay out of pocket, deductibles, co-insurance payments, treatments that aren't covered by insurance for this injury, that is all eligible to be reimbursed by the program. Likewise, if you've had to miss any time from work due to this injury, which likely you would have because you're going to be spending a lot of time in the hospital or in therapy sessions, any time that you've missed from work is also eligible for reimbursement through the program. And then finally, they do offer compensation for pain and suffering, which is meant to compensate you for the severity of the pain and the symptoms that you experienced, but also the impact that it had on your daily life, and in some cases continues to have on your daily life if you're unfortunate enough to have some kind of residual symptoms or permanent symptoms. If you believe or suspect that you have suffered Guillain-Barre syndrome as a result of a flu shot, I'd invite you to contact us today to talk about your options for filing a petition in the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. You can contact us at any time and schedule a free consultation with myself or somebody else on our team, and we'd be happy to talk to you about your options.